folks, we're going to open up questions for Coach Day, front row. Tim May, Letterman row.
Ryan, watching that first half was whatever kind of tough. Looked like you were looking for something. Those wide plays weren't working, etc. Can you just put this game in a nutshell? I'm trying to ask you 18 questions.
I know, yeah.
The fourth quarter was nuts, right? I mean,
yeah.
Just put it in a nutshell.
Well, I'd say it was crazy, but we expect when we play this game here to be that way. You think about our game in 18 here, the game we played at 17 back at our place. It comes down to the fourth quarter. We knew that was going to be the case. Yeah, a lot of things in the first half we wish that we had done better. There's no question. But that's playing football, and that's competing. And Penn State's got one heck of a team, played really hard, and it doesn't come easy. But that being said, very proud of the way the team played, and especially in the fourth quarter. I thought C.J. Stroud was unbelievable in the fourth quarter. The way he played, JTT was off the charts, and Marvin Harrison. But it was everybody. Cade Stover, what can you say about that run he had? Clutch, and just the way that we played in that fourth quarter was tremendous. I'm proud of our guys.
Right behind him, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Can you diagnose second week in a row where the run game didn't get going in that first half? Any common denominator you were seeing there, and then how did that affect how you were calling the rest of it?
Yeah, I'll wait till tomorrow to figure out that stuff. We're going to celebrate on this ride home and have some laughs together on the plane and enjoy it, and then we'll come back in tomorrow and figure out what we can do better. But I just, the way that we hit that long run there with Trey in the fourth quarter, wore him down, was tremendous. And then to go up the way we did, you could just feel the energy on the sideline. And some things certainly we want better, but at the end of the day, great to get a win. And at the end of the day, when we go into these games, the expectation is to win. I know that's not everybody's expectation, but that's our expectation. Do we want to play perfect? Yeah. Do we want to win by 4 touchdowns? Yeah. But the expectation coming in here has to be to win. And that's what we did. And when you look at the scoreboard at the end, it says 44-31. But what was the story? And this story has its own unique tale. And we always come out and want to do things better. But to play again the way we did in the fourth quarter was tremendous.
Over your left shoulder, Coach Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.
Yep.
Ryan, you've seen a lot of football. Where does that defensive performance by JTT rank, just singularly?
It's all kind of a blur the way it happened, but to intercept balls like that as a defensive end and get a defensive score, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That's big time. And JTT has put so much hard work into this. He's an unbelievable player, but he's a better person, and you can see his talent. This is kind of his coming out party today, and he's been working at it. He's been nobody wants it more than he does. So in this stage, for him to play the way he did means a lot to him, and I think his teammates are very proud of him.
Right next door, Doug Maurice, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, this is very specific, but on Trey's touchdown run, looked like Cade got the edge guy and then went to the second level and got the linebacker, and Dewan came across and got the other linebacker. There's the lane for Trey. Just like when you guys block it up the right way at that point in the game, how big is that? And those two guys making those blocks.
That's huge, yeah, like you said. And we'll have to figure out what's going on with a couple things, but in that moment right there, we started to kind of wear him down, I think, a little bit up front, and started to move the pile a little bit. And again, I didn't see it from that angle. I saw the thing squirt out from my angle, and then Trey got on the safety and was out. But yeah, those guys were gritty and did a good job in protection. Penn State was bringing a lot of different things, and especially on third down there, it took us a while to sort that out. Not very pleased with the third down, but yeah, that was a huge play, that inside zone play that hit.
Right next door, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, you have not been really tested since the Notre Dame game. How important is it to have a test like this? Probably the last hostile crowd you're going to have all year, to kind of face that and get through it.
It's huge. It's huge because nothing comes easy in this environment against Penn State, who does a tremendous job. And there are times where things may become a little bit easy for us, and that's a different experience than this right here. This is totally different. And to respond the way we did and figure out what was going on in that is great. Because really the last time that kind of happened was a little bit in the Notre Dame game. I think it was the same score at halftime maybe, right? Was it 14-13 at halftime? Was that what it was, 10-7? It was a close game at halftime, and then came out and played well in the fourth quarter. So that's the recipe when you're playing matchup games.
Any sense of Brian Williams?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I'll try to find out.
Clay Hall, WSYX.
You've won a lot of games here, 42. Is this as satisfying a win as you've had?
Every game has its own story, and this is one that we'll be telling for a while. I mean, just the feeling of the emotion that was on the sideline during that fourth quarter when JT got that pick, when Cade broke those tackles for the touchdown. It reminded me of Ben Vick when he caught that one out here on the play, breaking through, and they believed. You know, we knew it was going to take 4 quarters, and I think that's to your point. Like, we don't always have to play 4 quarters. We knew we were going to have to play 4 quarters today. And you know, just looking at the numbers, I thought it would be 70 and 70. It was 60 plays on offense and 80 plays on defense. So, but that's something that I think we can really learn from moving forward and can grow on.
Do you have any update on JSN? Is he out indefinitely?
No, I don't have an update right now. Yeah.
Up over here to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals.
Ryan, can you take us through, as you said, 2-3 quarters where you were trying to find some footing maybe on offense? I mean, as a play caller, what was Penn State doing that was maybe frustrating you or you were searching for, and then what finally clicked? The way the afternoon played out, what were you looking for? What did you eventually find?
Yeah. Well, I thought we finally, got into a rhythm finding those seam routes in there. We hit a couple of shots on the outside. The protection really was clean. I felt like we would have done a better job of the perimeter run game with the bubble throws. We got blown up on those a few times, and that really hurts. We struggled on 3rd down early on. We got that solved, which was huge because it kept the drives going. And I felt like we could have done a better job on 1st down, staying on schedule. They do a good job of taking away a lot of the easy stuff. So it just, again, couldn't quite get her going in there. But we did have that one good drive, and I just, at the end of the day, when you're playing these type of games, I think you have to look at the body of work through 4 quarters. And I think we're all used to saying, all right, what do we do in the first half? Right. And it's like, okay, but it's 4 quarters. And so when we're playing a matchup game like this, it's the whole story, and it finally clicked there at the end of the game.
That sequence right before halftime, did you think you had a timeout? The scoreboard said one thing, Fox broadcast had another. What was going through that decision-making process right there?
Yeah, we had 6 seconds left. I thought that we could take a shot in the end zone. We knew they were in 0 coverage, and I was going to take the delay game and then just kick the field goal, but then felt like maybe CJ would know to throw the fade up and see if we could get it for 0 coverage. We were not on the same page, he and I, but I'll take all the blame for that. It's totally not his fault. Shouldn't have been in that situation. 6 seconds left. Just kick the field goal, get some momentum into halftime. So I'll take all the blame for that one.
But you weren't trying to call a timeout there. I mean, you weren't running. You didn't, because you kind of ran.
So I ran down, and as I was running down, I realized I had a timeout.
Over to the right here, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Which is not a good feeling.
I believe it was 2019 against Penn State. There was a timeout on the field, and everything was going wrong, and you told your team that at some point you have to be willing to take punches and respond. For somebody who's talked about toughness so much and how big toughness is for this team this year, what does this win say about that?
Thanks for asking that question. That's what means everything to us right there, what you just said, because there's a lot of things that come into play here. Talking about the best quarterback in the country in C.J. Stroud, and JT's coming out partying Marvin, and the score and what we did in the first half. But what you just said is everything. That's, to me, the difference between winning a championship, reaching our goals, or not. What you just said. And we responded today. And I think that's why it's so satisfying, is that we did that today. Can we clean things up? Yeah, but that's football. And you see it every single week. You see games go back and forth. And, again, a lot of respect for Penn State, for James Franklin, for his staff in this environment. This is a hard place to play, and it always is. So for us to do that was, that locker room was on fire afterwards, and they deserve it.
Third row right, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Brian, this defensive line talks a lot about not caring who gets a sack, not caring who gets the number. JT this year has been so close to the sack, whether it's been a hole or it's a step too slow, that's about inch off. What's it been like to see his growth this year as he's kind of not really cared about not putting up production and then come out and have it that way?
Like you said, he's been right there, kind of been almost like the unsung hero a little bit this year, close to it, get the guy off the spot, maybe there's an interception. I think he had the one last week that they got the quarterback from Iowa off the spot, and then Tommy gets the interception. So like you said, he's been right there. He's been getting better every week. He's wanted it. He'll probably tell you he pressed a little bit at times. Like he's wanted to get there. and he's believed in Coach Johnston. He's believed in the scheme, and believes in his teammates. And like you said, those guys support him, and I think there's a really good group in the defensive line room.
We'll go a few more guys. Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, last week you talked to us about Zach and how important it was to get him at that point in time. You guys obviously had to wait quite a while for JT. Seeing him come full circle now and make plays like he did, say that coming out party as you mentioned it, does that make that wait that much more justifiable? As weird as that was.
Yeah, no, I think they all pull for each other, and yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I just think that they. I think one good thing is we have so much depth there that they can play fresh, and Coach Jay rolls them in and out. And they feed off of each other, and they pull for each other. So yeah.
Deep center field, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Huddle.
Ryan, you guys are down late and you scored 2 touchdowns in about 4 plays. What did you see from the sideline before those plays? What did you see from your team?
We had leadership. And Cade was there, but CJ led it. I don't know what CJ's numbers were in the fourth quarter, but I mean, he was tremendous to come in and play like that in this environment and go put the offense on his shoulders like that. And listen, it's everybody on offense, but boy, he was gutsy in this game. I'm proud of him.
Over to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, just for overall defensive performance, obviously most points you guys have allowed this year. Just what are your kind of overall takeaways on how defense played?
I thought they competed. When you're playing in a game like this, which I don't know if we mentioned it leading up to it, but I know we talked about it a lot. I don't know if we talked about it in the media. Was that they're no huddle, and we're no huddle. So the plays were going to be more, and it was going to be a 4-quarter game. So with that, this is what you're typically going to get. And they had their big plays, but they also had their turnovers too. And when we can feed off each other like we did, that's when we can flip the scoreboard. And would we have liked to have done it more? Sure, but that's a great challenge today that we responded to.
Bill Landis, Athletic.
Ryan, when you're throwing those bubbles, maybe this is wrong characterization, but they feel conservative for an offense that touts aggressiveness as much as you guys do. But I'm wondering, do they serve a purpose even if they're not efficient? Are you trying to soften them up with those plays, even if they're not blocked well? Because in the fourth quarter you're going to hit them down the seam as much as you guys did.
Yeah, it's part of the run game, and what it does is it forces everyone to run to the other side of the field if you complete it. It sounds crazy, but it's true. And then you throw it on the other side, they have to run all the way across the field, and then before you know it, you can go that way. So we want them to defend the entire field, and if they put a lot of guys in a box, then we need to spread the ball out to the perimeter. So we always say that we want to be able to attack them inside, attack them outside, and then throw the ball down the field. And probably could have done that more in the game, but I think if we had done a little bit better job on the perimeter in that area, we could have cracked the rock sooner. But yes, I think you have the idea.
And last question, Joey Kaufman, the dispatch over here to the right.
Ryan, of all the plays that JT made you get a 6 from, did you have a favorite or
Pick 6. Yeah, I mean, when you get a defensive score like that, all of a sudden the whole game changes. It was a 2-score game at the time, right? So it was 9 points. So I believe so, right? Yeah, that's right. And I remember I was on headsets. Okay, so if they score and make it, a 1-point game or however that was, how are we going to play the game a little bit different? We get the ball back and it's a 2-score game. Be probably pretty conservative at that point. And then the next play is a pick. It was the first play of the drive, I think, right? It was a pick 6, and all of a sudden, you throw it up in the air and say, "That's about it. We're good, boys." And the sideline just went nuts. So that was my favorite.
One quickie.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. comes out of that game, gets banged up, goes back in, 10 catches, that third and 10 catch on that slant.
Tough.
It's
Tough.
Yeah.
Bringing zero coverage.
What a day! I mean, can you explain his day?
Tough. I think that's what it was. I mean, we know Marvin's talented, but to play tough the way he did says a lot about him, and he was gutsy today, like you said. Yeah, gutsy.
Right, I'm sorry, just for context, what do you think of the Penn State secondary today?
The challenge, tough. They played hard, physical, like you said, kind of blew up some of the perimeter run game that we could have done a better job with. I think our guys competed against them, though.
All right, folks. Hey, folks, we're going to do our
season and not face a better secondary than that. So
very talented. I mean, good props out to them.
When you guys worked it out, right? I mean, it took a little time, right? But
Absolutely.
What does that say about this passing game when you needed it in the fourth quarter? You were able to do that against that secondary.
I mean, that's what elite passing teams do. When the other team knows you're passing the ball, and you still convert, those third downs and fourth downs, things like that. Just got to do that.
How did you talk about
Right.
you ever amazed
That's a clutch moment, and not only are you making that cut, but CJ is putting it where nobody else is.
You know, I'm certainly grateful to have a quarterback like CJ. He made a hit me in stride, where I can kind of bulldoze forward, get the first down and things like that. So I'm very grateful for CJ.
What was that like when you were on the sideline? Everything
I just kind of came up, really couldn't move my shoulder much. I had to give it some time, and then I went back on there 2 plays later, I think.
Kevin Wilt.
That just shows you what type of coaches we have with Coach Dave, Coach Hart, people like that, just showing how much they trust in us on plays.
And at Penn State, they had that crazy drive. They take the lead with 9 minutes to go. Their offense is starting for a while. What was the mindset right before that drive when you went down 3 plays?
I mean, it's just, let's go be us. Just confidence, and I'm just telling my whole line, y'all keep me clean, I'm keep y'all clean. So they did a good job all game. Tight ends, Kate had a hell of a game along with Mitch. So, I mean, it's not just me out there. So I really appreciate my teammates grinding. And I think we did a good job in not turning over the ball. And the defense, I mean, you show what type of defense we have. I definitely think that it's been like that for a while now. And people are starting to see. So it's been hard to go against them in practice, but now in the game, it feels good.
The coach that kind of gave credit to you for keeping up with that moment before the drive where you guys went down such a lead for good. Like, was there a moment on the sideline where you felt like you needed to do that, or was it just kind of in the flow of the game?
I mean, I always feel like that I try to. Yep. Oh, let me relax. God bless him. I'm not gonna react, but no, like you said, I mean, Coach Day has a lot of trust in me along with my teammates, and I definitely think that when those moments come, I'll definitely try to look at myself in the mirror and be like, see, there's your time. God made you for this. So not just for this, but to push the kingdom of God and kingdom of heaven on people. So that's why I try to play good enough so people can hear my voice. But on the sideline, I'm just trying to give everybody positive feedback and give confidence. And I think that's what I think I did, and that's why we went out there and scored.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about the Penn State secondary coming into this game, and you said earlier this week you thought Joey Porter might be the best defensive back in the country. It's not on your team. Was it a challenge in your head coming into this to come out and play the way you did, because you were pretty close to perfect?
I mean, I'm never play perfect. I appreciate that, but definitely, I think we got to be better in the rest of them. But Joey's a hell of a player, along with 23. And players like that, I mean, it feels good to go against them and have a little bit of success. I definitely think that they'll continue to do great things over at Penn State. And I tried to see Coach Yersh at the game, wasn't able to see him, but I think he caught a hell of a game on their side for the offense. So, I mean, it was just a good competitive type of game.
I mean, that's just individual guys just making plays, you know, just making competitive excellence, as Coach Day says, you know, when the number's called, make the play.
What was the sideline like when you guys were down in the fourth quarter there late?
Just keep playing. We know the talent we got, we know the offense we got, we know the defense we got. Just keep playing, you know. Get a few stops, and the offense is bound to open up. Like, that's what they do. They score points, a lot of them. And just trust in the offense. They trusted in us, and just keep it rolling.
This was your first game here with
It was wild. It was definitely loud.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, no, this was a fun game. You know, the close ones are always fun. Always fun when it goes back and forth.
I know you're probably going to ask the same question about JT.
Yeah. He's right over there.
I know. Joe was talking.
Oh, okay.
To watch him, obviously talented player, have a great game like that, how special is that?
I mean, yeah, I'm proud of the game he had, man. I'm so happy for JT, man, having them 2 picks and then having the strip sack to, I mean, really seal the game. Like, I'm so happy for JT and all the work that he's put in, and it's finally showing the results of that.
There's a lot of high-level people. Basketball, allowed me to move laterally quick enough,
When was the last time you scored a touchdown?
Last time, high school.
Do you remember it? Do you remember who you play in defense?
No. I think the last time I had a defensive pick was my sophomore year in high school in Seattle Prep. Wow. That was my last defensive pick.
I'm sure the tight end background helped a lot too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You ever had 2 in a game? You ever had 2 picks in a game?
No, never.
How big is it to do with you in this situation with the game being so close and everything?
It was great. It's a true blessing. I mean, like I said, we came out, played 11 strong, and showed up today.
JT, I saw online on the Beaver Stadium Wikipedia that now has you listed as the owner of Beaver Stadium. Were you aware of this, and how do you take that responsibility?
I mean, shoot, you gotta go back and clean up whatever I need to fix.
Zach said that you had 3 picks in practice this week. Like, did you just kind of feel something different this week that kind of set you up for this game today?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what starting in practice. Everything starts in practice. Perfect practice makes a perfect play. And the guys hold me accountable every practice, and that's where it started.
Do you think it's like momentum in basketball where you have a hot hand? You feel like that?
I mean, I think you kind of feel like that today. Yeah.
It's been a while since you guys have been pushed like that. What was it like to have a game come down in the last few plays?
Oh, it was great. I mean, the sideline, we never broke. You know, we always stay strong. We always just loved the challenge, you know. And you know, after they scored, you know, there was no break. We were just telling each other like, hey, it's stuff we got to fix.
JT, you've been so close this year. Is it been a hold or quarterback gets rid of the ball? Do you feel like you feel yourself pressing it all this year to get that sack, and then just kind of coming out today, what was it like for everything to come out at once?
I mean, you know, I told myself, you know, let God handle it, and, you know, just let it come to you. And I think that's what happened today.
Thanks, JT.
Okay, thanks, JT. Everything like in that catch and run for
Last
the touchdown
question for
to the
Kate.
Benjamin Victor play. Do you remember watching that on television, or you remember that play?
Which one?
The Benjamin Victor where he cut the ball over the middle from
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne Haskins.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Big ran his way into the end zone, which was incredible to catch.
Right.
You kind of been Buckeye lower a little bit with that running catch. Catch and run.
It was good. I mean, like I said, these guys, I mean, it's just an honor to be trusted with the ball in a situation. So, I mean, when you get it, you better play with it.
And Good State thinks maybe CJ not only maybe the best quarterback in the country, but maybe the most clutch.
No doubt
What's
about
your
it.
take on that?
He's cool. I mean, he never gets rattled no matter what's going on. I mean, the pocket be pushed. He can be on his heels the whole game. And the guy's never going to rattle. You're going to step in the pocket and keep throwing the ball.
Great. Thank you.
Kate.